The Pew Research Center recently released a survey finding that Black Americans believe there is work to be done by the media when it comes to covering Black Americans in the news. Ron Mitchell is the co-owner, editor, and publisher of the Bay State Banner, and he joins me remotely to discuss this Pew survey. Hi, Ron.
Hi, good morning. How are you today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Wonderful.
So, according to this study, of about 5,000 self-identified Black Americans from around the country, folks believe that the media has a lot of work to do when it comes to building and restoring trust among Black Americans. We know that you, of course, lead one of the nation's oldest Black newspapers. What are your thoughts about this survey?
Oh, I think this survey is spot on. When I took a look at it, it really talked about the trends in our industry. You know, being an industry media and journalist for so many years, I watched the news change from what I would call producer-driven, where real stories were told, to being driven by clicks, and the most amount of responses you can get from your story, that's what drives the story. And when you tack to the most emotional part of a story, then you always skew the actual journalism within that story, and that diminishes it. And for African Americans, we suffer from that. As we know, it's the easiest thing. The Black guy did it. You know, all the tropes, all the stereotypes. And then in the mid, 2018 or so, when the political environment turned up on racism and became a lot more volatile, all these new networks came up that, basically were race baiting and were trying to move a political agenda by, blaming and stereotyping and scapegoating. So we as African Americans, Black Americans, certainly should have got a bad taste in our mouth from the media trends. Now, what we see after George Floyd, and this is also in the report, is that a lot of major news network newsrooms are trying to get and hire more African Americans in the management behind the scenes. If you're in the newsroom, if you are helping to produce that news, you change the way that news is presented. But, African American newspapers have a very strong backbone and history in this country and a very big responsibility in providing accurate and community news. So it's good that that network is still there, because the mainstream media, there's still a ways to go to really make the news about us, about our community, fair and truly balanced.
One of the things that was interesting to me coming out of this survey is, of course, within the Black community, there is a desire for there to be news presented from all perspectives, all sides of an issue. But of note is that this holds true across political ideology. So regardless of how Black Americans identify politically, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, what have you, we all want news presented in an objective manner, giving us the information we need to make informed decisions. How are you working to ensure that that's the case with the Bay State Banner?
Well, here at the Bay State Banner, we have a diverse set of reporters, and we really drill down on stories. We're a weekly, so we're different than a daily where every single story has to be started in the morning and finished in the afternoon, or where there's a tighter schedule. We're allowed to talk with more people involved in the story and make a more well-balanced story and really drill down on the issues that are important to our community. The various different things that are going on in the Franklin Park area, Mass and Cass, the educational system, not just in Boston, but statewide. There's a lot of very important issues, and we really try to identify the most important things that affect our community and really tell the true perspective of our community, which isn't always told in the other outlets.
Thank you for that. The media has always been an important part of our democracy, and certainly as the world continues to evolve and there continue to be so many issues impacting not only the Black community but our communities writ large, building trust in media will remain critically important, and we look forward to following your work with the Bay State Banner. Thanks so much, Ron, for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much, Cindy. So I do appreciate it.